Good evening, half a day, y'all. So at the moment, we're in search. I mean, I do have an idea of where. I do have. Oopsie. Of where I want to go to enjoy the sunset. It's somewhere that I haven't streamed from before, so here's hoping that it's going to be a good spot. I should have checked it out earlier, but it's not far from where I live. It's on the other side of the highway, and so we're going to see. We're going to see if we can get but I haven't done a live stream. I haven't really done much on my channel since being at the beach on Friday. So I need to get on the ball and stay on top of the things with my watch hours, because I want to keep it moving forward and not sliding backwards. You know what I mean? But good evening to anybody who's popping in and joining my live stream. I appreciate it. Hopefully y'all will hang out with me for a while. If you're new to my channel, tell me where you're watching from. But it's maybe about, I mean, you can kind of see the sun is already starting to set behind me. So I tell you, once we start streaming, doing the sunset, it's like 15 minutes and it's done. I'm like, what? And part of it has to do with, depending on where we're watching the sunset from, on how long we get to enjoy it. Because if there's a tree line, then yeah, it'll disappear, you know, slightly sooner. So the higher the vantage point we have to enjoy the sunset, the better, right? Half a day. Thank you for joining my live stream. So I am just on my way to where I'm hoping is gonna be a good spot to enjoy the sunset and a chat. See how everybody's doing. Well, sorry. Lo siento. I speak and understand very little Spanish. But thank you for popping in anyways. Alright, stay green. Stay green. Stay green. Alright, good enough. Alright. Ooh, and that pickup behind me ran it. It was already turning yellow as I approached the light. That light that I just went through is weird in the sense that the light will turn green it's on an overpass. So you got a light before the overpass and then on the other side. So the light will turn green as you're getting onto the overpass, and then you pretty much have to be the first car in line, like I was. And otherwise, because I barely caught that one. All right, let's see how this works. Let's see. Where can I park? Oh, see, I think I might end up be losing some of the sunset because tree line. So we're on the other side of the highway. All right. Let's see if I can adjust this a little bit. Zoom in a little bit. Oops. So yeah, it's going to be one of those situations where it's going to disappear behind the tree line. But hopefully we catch some good sunset colors, you know. Last night, I mean, it was partly cloudy. Uh-oh. No. That's not what I want. Okay. I guess I should have done this before. Sorry for my dirty windshield. Let me do this. Right now you just see a white blob. And if I were to tap the phone screen to see if I can adjust, it'll still try to adjust to the windshield. But happy Monday evening. How's everybody? I pretty much spent the day editing. So I have a video that's going to be released tomorrow morning. So y'all can check that out. And because I've got a new question of the hour in that video based on how our work shift went yesterday. So like I said, I've been editing, and because when I first started doing YouTube and editing my videos, my content, I was using my laptop. So of course the screen is bigger. So let me try and adjust this. Okay, that's only just a tad better. But normally when I'm editing, at least when I first started, I was using my laptop, so a much larger screen, and but ever since I use CapCut. I use CapCut to edit my videos, and I put the app on my phone, so that way whenever I have something that I want to post right away, but I need some editing and I don't want to have to wait to get to my laptop, I started editing on my phone. And ever since then, I've been probably editing on my phone for at least a year. But when I'm doing it for too long, I do wear occasionally reading glasses. But I tell you, it does affect my eyes. It makes my eyes you know, because you're straining, because my phone, although it does have a decent size screen, um, when I'm staring at my phone for too long, you know, it just tires my eyes faster than I want it to when I'm doing a lot of editing. But if you guys have your own YouTube channel and you do editing, what programs do you guys use? What was that other one that everybody kept saying? It wasn't CapCut. It was, shoot. I can't even remember now. And I kept saying that I would look into it. What was it? And CapCut wasn't the first program that I started using to edit my videos. I actually started using, it was a different program. And now I can't even remember the name of that one. My brain is just so right now. I can't think. Which is probably why, one of the reasons why we ended up not working today. We should have. Because at one point, I mean, we did turn on the Walmart Spark app while we were at home because we're less than 10 minutes from a Walmart. And offers were coming in, but they were sucky offers. So we weren't exactly motivated to get closer to Walmart. We're like, just because we get, you know, a little bit closer to the store, does that mean you have better chances of better offers? I mean, sometimes I guess that can be a yes. And then sometimes it's like, we should have just stayed home. But if y'all haven't already checked it out, this past Friday, my daughter, her youngest son, it was his birthday, and it was his request that he go to the beach for his birthday. So we did a day trip. Where I'm at here in the central part of Texas, one of the beaches, depending on where you go, it's anywhere from 3 to 6 hour drive to get to the coast, the East Coast or the southern part of Texas. The furthest probably was to go to South Padre Island. And then we've been to Corpus Christi, I've been to Galveston, but this past Friday we ended up going to Port Aransas. So, and we enjoyed it. The kids had a blast. It was their very first time going to the beach. But if you guys want to, you can check it out. It is my last live stream that I've done, you know, prior to this one. So, and showing the kids just enjoying themselves in the water. I'm so glad they all had a great time. A very good impression, with the exception of one of the twins. Well, thank you. That was very sweet of you. But except for one of the twins, I think because of the waves, you know, the waves, not that they were crashing hard or anything like that, but she's not exactly, you know, she's a petite, tiny thing, so it doesn't take much to knock her over. But after we got settled and everything, you know, I was the first one to take them to the water, and all 5 of us were getting into the water, and she's the oldest of the twins, but the waves were coming in. Some were just, you know, little ones, and then some were bigger, of course, to the point where even myself and there would only be maybe up to my knees or a little bit higher at times, would lose my balance due to the waves crashing in. But she got knocked over, and she didn't like that. She didn't like that. So we were there at the beach itself for about 4 hours. The original plan being that it was just a day trip and it's a 4-hour drive one way, was to maybe 2 hours at the minimum, maybe 3 hours, just depending on how the kids take to it or how hot it was and whatnot. But we were there 4 hours, and if it weren't for probably the tent to push us to, for everybody to get out of the water, there was a gust of wind that knocked the tent over, and it was my hubby that was still waiting at the tent because my daughter had also brought her dog, and he was keeping him company. But the wind was picking up the tent and it was trying to blow it away, but it ended up bending part of, and it was an old canopy anyways, but it ended up bending it, and we ended up tossing it before we left. But of course they had to get out of the water, and we're all taking down the tent, so we were like, oh well, I guess that was our sign to pack up and leave. But yeah, I don't know if I'll choose this spot again to do the live stream, because for a sunset live, because I'm on the other side of the highway, so especially as the sun disappears behind the tree line there, just on the other side of the highway, we're going to be looking at the traffic, the traffic that's coming across. So I don't know. I'm going to have to find a different spot. Something, I don't want to have to drive too far from the house to do the sunset live stream. I'm trying to find something that's just a couple of minutes. We already know that the one that is just a couple of minutes away from the house, but I've done a live stream there now from that point of view 2 times at least, maybe 3 times now. So I'm just trying to give different vantage points of the sunstream. The sunset. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday, and that your work week will be a wonderful, fruitful, for all my fellow gig workers out there, that it bears lots of good offers. I don't know, maybe we'll try to work tomorrow, at least for the evening shift. Or I might just get out there and do an hour during the lunchtime so I can do another live stream. Guess we'll just play it by ear. Maybe. Maybe, the hubby says, maybe. Maybe both. Yeah. I mean, some Tuesdays, it's not a payday week, or is it? No. It's the week before payday for the most part. So, who knows? Because sometimes the Tuesdays can be a little bit profitable, but it's... But now the sun is disappearing behind the trees. All right. There we go. Maybe now you'll be able to comment on my videos. I have you as a standard moderator now instead of a managing. I think that's part of the problem when it, I don't know why that's a thing. If you are set up as a managing moderator for a channel, why you can't comment on that person's videos that they post. Yeah, to do the yard work. Or are you talking about for gig work? Ah, yeah. But once, especially from this spot, like I said, I'm probably not going to do a live stream from this spot because, especially once it disappears and is right behind the tree line, we're going to see lots of the traffic going by. There's nothing pretty about that. I mean, if something interesting, I'm not asking for something bad to happen, but interesting, like maybe someone getting pulled over for speeding. That kind of stuff, you know? So far, I mean, I'm having to watch the sunset from my phone as well because it's still pretty bright. And so far, from what I can see, there's not a lot of coloring going on. And I believe it was just last night that I was saying, no, it was the night before because we didn't work Saturday. So it was the night before when I was like, man, look at the colors in the sky, because there was clouds in the sky, and as the sun is starting to set, there was beautiful reds and orange and yellow. Right now I don't see that. I mean, maybe if I were to move to a different point, especially once it starts to get a little low, that we'll see better colors. But I have to drive around further down the highway just to be able to do a U-turn, and I'd miss the rest of the sunset. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. He loves us all. I wonder if I tried to zoom in. I mean, now you can start to see a little bit more color, but If I were to try and zoom in, you're just looking at the traffic a little bit more. Amazon. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. This wasn't a good spot to do the sunset from. Had to give it a try. That's part of the fun in doing the sunset lives, and especially trying to find different spots. I mean, when we're out making our deliveries and around this time of the day, I'll be like, oh, this is a perfect spot. There's been a couple that have been like that, but we're not close to the house. And I want to find spots that's not too far from the house. I mean, from our bathroom window, we can probably watch the sun setting, but you'll have the water treatment plant as part of the view. So, yeah. And it would be from the second story, which is what do you call that? So it's a higher vantage point, but I don't think so about having the water treatment plant as part of the background. You can kind of see. I mean, there's clouds in the air around where it's setting, but now that more of the sun is behind the trees, I I can see more of the coloring, but it's not the colors that I want it to catch. Or at least not all the colors. But it's still a beautiful sunset, even as it disappears behind the trees. Yeah, and I think because this is going to be a short live stream today, I think I do want to try and get out there tomorrow afternoon and see if we can get out for about an hour or so to do another live stream. Nothing too exciting. Have you guys ever noticed when you're driving along the highway, especially when there's a lot of trees, and highway or even roads, country roads, do you notice, because as I'm looking at the phone and looking at the tree line, maybe it's because the wind that's created as vehicles are passing by, or even from because of the telephone lines and whatnot, it starts to create shapes. And it's it's a little silly, but sometimes you know, especially when we're traveling, is probably when I do it the most. When I'm just looking straight ahead and I'm looking at the tree line, especially if it starts off at the little bit of a distance, you know, it's like it makes a cute shape. I mean, I've seen some, kind of like when you look at the clouds, using your imagination on, you know, what you see. But if you look at it now, because with the sun setting behind the tree line, it almost looks like waves. The trees, I mean, look at that. They look like the ocean waves. That's 3 waves right there. Just ignore the traffic that's going by. But it looks like waves. But that's just me. That's what I see. I think one of the times it was, I've even seen like a dog's head, you know, with the ears. Oh, well, there you go. That's the sunset for today. Like I said, I spent most of today editing, so be on the lookout for that. I'll be releasing a video tomorrow morning, based on how our shift went yesterday. So, but until then, thank you guys. Si Ju'is Ma'asi for watching, whether this was a part of the live or you're watching it as a replay. Si Ju'is Ma'asi. Until then, y'all stay safe. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Adios for now. Bye.